The Cartaway Concrete Cube is fast becoming the contractor's choice for special projects. For example, the Cube is assisting a contractor to fix retaining walls in Texas with a very efficient setup. The contractor is Classic Tejas, and along with their material supplier Quikrete, have used good engineering, the Cube, and super sacks of material to rebuild the walls. They discovered that a Cartaway Cube could be positioned between two standard Quikrete hoppers, one for grout and the other for mortar mix. This configuration allows the contractor to switch mixes in the Cube between a highly flowable grout and a regular mortar mix.
Well, we found that the Cube and our Quikrete hoppers are a great fit. Typically on a job like this it would require two mixers, but the top-loading conveyor of the Cube allowed us to use both augers to feed just one mixer.
Classic Tejas appreciates the efficiency of the Cube because the backfill crew gets a special mixture of grout in 1.5-yard batches. Then, with the same mixer, they can prepare regular mortar for the finishing crew. Before purchasing the Cube, these tasks were performed by much smaller mixers that would hold up the construction process. With just one Cube, they produce between 25 and 30 tons of mix each day and have still not reached the full capacity of the mixer. The top-loading conveyor on the Cube has been the major time saver on this project. When mixing a batch of mortar, they simply turn on the correct dispensing auger from a Quikrete hopper, and then the Cube conveyor delivers the dry materials to the mixing drum. The material diverter on the front of the Cube transfers the mix from the moving conveyor into the mixing blades of the 1.5-yard mixing drum. The water meter on the Cube allows them to add water to get the consistency they want between the various batches. The Cube operator has learned to gauge the mix and then adds water as needed. The side-mounted hydraulic controls allow him to spin the drum in both directions, run the conveyor, and tilt the drum all from one position. The flowable grout is transported directly to the workers using a skid steer and pouring bucket. The grout is dropped onto a mud ramp where it slides down to create a strong tie-back for each wall. The Cube keeps the remainder of the batch mixing until the pouring bucket returns for the next load. At a full 1.5 yards per batch, the Cube allows the grout mix deliveries to stay ahead of the quickly piling mass of rubble and grout behind each wall. The Cube also handles the mortar mixing duties using the same process as the grout. The mixed mortar is dispensed into boxes so that the finishing crew can have easy access to large quantities of material to build the decorative face. The Frisco, Texas project is just one example of the versatility of the Cartaway Cube and the creativity of contractors in using this batching system. The Cube allowed an almost impossible concrete pour to be completed 7.5 miles down a mine. 2 Cubes are supporting a very large golf path project in Idaho. A resort has been completed in the Bahamas using the Cube and a skid steer loader. A FEMA project used a Cube, super sacks, and a helicopter for a dam in the mountains. The Cube is building cabins in the Northwest Territory, piers in the Pacific Northwest, and driveways to celebrity mansions in Arizona. The Cube is working hard to complete some of the most demanding construction projects imaginable. The Cube is available for purchase or rental for your next great project. Call a Cartaway expert at 800-909-9809.